Hello everyone and welcome to another Genshin Impact video. If you're new to the channel, do me a huge favor and hit the like button and turn on the notification button so you know every time I upload a new video. Now there are a lot of things to unpack when it comes to Yae Miko, and I do my best to cover some of these issues. For those of you who stayed to the end of the video, I have a few showcases of Yae Miko and my favorite setup that you will find quite interesting. But with all that out of the way, let's get into the video. So right now in the Genshin Impact community is fixated around the topic that Yae Miko is bad, or Yae Miko needs a rework, that miHoYo or HoYoverse is rushing characters out to meet deadlines without properly testing them. People have gone as far as to say or to tell other people that they should skip summoning for that character. I personally don't like to make such claims or suggestions because there are just too many factors when it comes to pulling for limited time characters. What I like to do is showcase my playstyle for a character and show the team comps that make the game enjoyable for me. One conversation that people fail to realize around the topic of constellations is that every character, and I mean every character, gets better in the role that they are designed to play with the more constellations that are unlocked. Every character is good at C0, but at C6 it shows their peak potential. What you have to consider when pulling for a character is, will they add value to the current roster? Now, I know this is a loaded question because anybody can see that adding a new character with new skill adds value. So it's like you just answered your own question. Again, not necessarily, because the only way this can be true is if we all agree on the definition of what added value is. Let me explain. When determining value, it's in relation to your experience and how you enjoy playing Genshin Impact. Are you collecting characters so that you have them? And do you relish an idea of doing big damage numbers? Are you a speedrunner only interested in clearing content as fast as possible? Do you have a specific role that you need filled in your current roster? Added value can come from different aspects of where you are currently in the game. Let's look at Yae Miko, for instance. Are you able to level her talents currently? Meaning, can you fight the weekly boss for her talent materials? Do you have good artifacts that fit how you want to play her, either as a main DPS or a sub DPS? Do you plan to wish for a signature weapon or work with weapons that you currently have? All these are geared towards the idea of added value. Having an optimally built character for the role you plan to use them in is what really allows someone to see the real value in the character. Currently in Genshin, the only piece of slightly challenging content is the Abyss floor 12, and that takes about 12 minutes to do at best, once every 2 weeks. So in my opinion, if you can clear the Abyss with what roster you currently have available to you, there's no need to pull for a new character. Most importantly, you have to learn to make decisions for yourself, and do not make decisions based on FOMO or on hype. Now, I have to talk about a few pros and cons I think that are important when people are still trying to determine if they want to summon or pull for her or not. Number one, her elemental skill is hit scan, meaning that if they're in range, they will be hit no matter if they're moving or not. Now, there are some exceptions, like when the enemies like the mechanical array shoots straight up in the air and tries to come smashing down on you, and when the Geovishap goes underground with his shark attack. Number two, she's really quick at repositioning herself out of harm's way with her elemental skill. This saves you quite a bit of stamina. And when it comes to dashing, she has 3 of those, so that's equivalent to 3 different dashes that allow you to get out of harm's way. So use your timing and positioning properly, and you should be able to avoid a lot of damage that will otherwise either kill her and take her out of the picture or put you in a tricky situation. Number 3, the positive side of her auto attacking her elemental skill makes the game easy mode. I mean, you hit a button a couple of times and you just relax, and everything around you literally just dies. So I've covered a few positives, and now I got to cover a few negatives, and I have to be very careful here because some of these are pretty bad. Number 1, she has some of the lowest HP and defense stats in the game. Whenever you're playing with her, you want to make sure that you pair her with either a shield character or a healer, because when she gets hit, it's going to hurt, trust me. Number 2, having no control over elemental skill. No amount of basic attacks or charge attacks can help you in your target priority acquisition. You just have to sit there and pray that the actual turrets of her elemental skill do exactly what you need them to do and target whoever you need them to target. So this can be pretty frustrating, because in the event that you have to deal with something like the mechanical array, where he breaks down into multiple parts, and then you have to try and focus on the glowing golden one and to try and be able to reattack his main body, can be pretty frustrating. Even enemies like the basic Hilly Troll that has a little shield in their hand can be frustrating to deal with Yae Miko, because they can just block her attacks infinitely. If you want to talk about an enemy that's even more frustrating than the basic Hilly Troll, the beefed up cousin, the wooden shield wall metal troll, will just sit there and block her attacks infinitely. You can just sit there and just waste so much time because they will just sit there and block and block and block. And all that you can do is wait for them to attack. And once they open themselves up, they get killed like pretty much instantly. But the fact that they can just sit there and block all day long is a problem. And finally, probably onto the most annoying aspect of Yae Miko, the cooperative mode aspect. And I don't think this aspect of her kit gets enough attention because it's completely the most ignorant and most frustrating thing about her. If you are playing in co-op mode with another Yae Miko, you guys are sharing the 3 totems that can be placed on the field at one time. So if you put your totem out and another person puts their totem out, you guys are just doing yin and yang, just taking from each other. You guys can't add to each other whatsoever. So in co-op mode, if there's another Yae Miko, you guys either need to do a handshake or you guys need to message each other and or share stats or whatever it is to determine who's going to be the main Yae Miko on the field, because there is no cohesion whatsoever if you're playing with another one. Now, for those of you who have stayed to the end of the video, I really appreciate that and it means a lot. And here's something special that I made just for you for staying to the end. I want to say thank you for tuning in, and I'll catch you in the next video.